In the headlines, suspected herdsmen kill 6 villagers in Taraba State. Gunmen abduct Catholic priest in Anambra. Youths storm local government secretariats in Rivers, protest tenure extension for chairman. And on a foreign scene, Muslim pilgrims resume symbolic stoning as they wrap up Hajj pilgrimage. Hello, welcome to News Updates on Trust TV. I am Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. At least 6 persons were reportedly killed and scores injured following an attack on a farming community by suspected herdsmen. The attack that occurred on Sunday targeted Maraban, Asgwa and Alele villages of Mahula in the Bali local government area of the state. A resident of the area, Isa Abdul, on Monday said trouble started when a man who was allegedly drunk was found dead on his way home. Abdul said the deceased relatives, who suspected that he was killed by some Tea villagers, mobilized and started attacking and killing people. The chairman, Taraba State Tea Traditional Council, Zaki David Ba, who briefed journalists in Bali on the development, said 6 people were killed with 4 others in critical conditions in the hospital. He expressed confidence that the attackers would be arrested by security agencies and prosecuted, adding that since all of them live in the community, they will be easily identified. The State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Gambo Kwache, who confirmed the attack in a telephone interview, however, said only 2 corpses were recovered by the police. Gunmen have kidnapped an Anambra-based priest of the Catholic Church, Reverend Father Christian Ike. Ike was said to have been taken away by the assailants on Sunday along Amagu Junction, Ndiokbaleke in Ajali community and in Orumba, North local government area of Anambra State. The reason for the incident is yet to be ascertained, but eyewitnesses in the area said the priest was returning alongside 2 other persons from an early morning mass at St. Michael Catholic Church when the vehicle he was moving in was double-crossed by the assailants. The latest abduction will be the 2nd incident in 2 months, as another priest, Reverend Father Basil Buzwa, was kidnapped near Onitsha on May 15th by unknown gunmen. Buzwa was later released some weeks later after some undisclosed amount of ransom was paid to his captors. Confirming the incident, the Anambra State Police spokesman, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, said the command has heard about the incident and has deployed its intelligence and operational assets for his possible rescue. Meanwhile, police operatives still in Anambra State say they have arrested 148-year-old Felix Onwa of Ika South local government area of Delta State and recovered 375 live cartridges. A statement by the police public relations officer, Anambra State SP Tochukwu Ikenga, on Monday said Onwaya was arrested at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday by operatives attached to Fege Division while on patrol along Niger Street, Onitsha. Ikenga said during interrogation, the suspect confessed that he was sent by one Charles Ogboma to a man he is yet to mention to collect the ammunition. The statement added that investigation is still ongoing. The Commissioner of Police, Nage Itam, while commending the police officers who made the recovery for their vigilance, directed all personnel in the command to sustain the tempo of crime prevention and detection in the state. Youths in the 3 local government areas of Kalabari ethnic group have occupied the council secretariats to demand the vacation of the council chairman from office. The local government areas are Degema, Asari Toru and Akuku Toru. Amateurs showed that some of the youths mobilized the block, the entrance to the council complexes, and requested traders within the premises to vacate. Meanwhile, a former Niger Delta agitator, Asari Dokubo, who is from the ethnic group, is advising elected chairman of the 23 local government areas in Rivers to quietly leave office by midnight on Monday as their 3-year tenure expires. He said despite arguments from the chairman, they must leave office to avoid creating fundamental problems in the state. Asari stressed the importance of adhering to the stipulated tenure limits in the local government law of 2018 to maintain order and legality. Asari stated this on the sidelines of a visit by the Muslim community to Governor Siminalayi Fubara at the Government House in Port Harcourt. The Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, has revealed plans by the United Arab Emirates government to lift the visa ban imposed on Nigerian travelers soon. Keyamo, in a State House interview, noted that a resolution has been reached between President Bola Tinubu and UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan during Tinubu's visit to the UAE in September 2023. Now, according to him, although the UAE had initially listed additional processes to be met before the ban could be officially lifted, the Nigerian government has since completed all processes, paving the way for an imminent announcement from the UAE government. Keyamo further mentioned that he is aware of the specific date when the travel restriction will be lifted, but he emphasized that it is up to the UAE government to make the official announcement. The lifting of the ban is expected to restore ease of travel for Nigerian citizens to the UAE, thereby enhancing bilateral relations and cooperation between the two countries. Now, moving over to the Eid celebration, Muslims in Osun State have been charged to imbibe the lessons of Eid al-Kabir, as well as the sacrifices of Prophet Ibrahim during and after the Eid al-Kabir celebration. The charge came on the heels of the Salah celebration in the state, which was peaceful, as Muslims thronged Eid praying grounds across the state for the 2 Rakat prayers. Hamid Oyebade files the report.
At the Oshogbo Central Eid praying ground, Muslims converged for the Salah 2 Rakat prayer. Dignitaries led by the Ashiwaju Musulumi of Yoruba land, Kamis Olatunde Badmus, performed the Eid prayer. The Grand Imam of Osun State, Sheikh Musa Animashaun, admonished Muslims to fear Allah and shun bad habits. The National Secretary of All Progressive Congress, Ajibola Bashiru, and the former Deputy Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly, Akintunde Adegboye, were among dignitaries at the Oshogbo Central Eid.
This Eid signal sacrifice is also signify humility and obedience to Almighty Allah. So we urge our Nigerians to continue to be dedicated to piety, to be dedicated to integrity, to be dedicated to humility, and to continue to see our selflessness as all sacrifice that will enable us to have a better society. We felicitate with all Muslims and also our friends who are not Muslims this very special occasion. We urge them to continue to pray for the success of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The essence of today is talking about how Almighty has in view of that, this ram has to be for it. So, if you believe in God, you actually made it happen. That's how to continue to believe in God. So, my advice is for us and for us to continue to put in our best in the best interest of God. Thank you very much.
To learn on how Ibrahim believe in God, to sacrifice his only son, to make the promise to Allah, and then to live in peace and harmony.
Security operatives, including men of the Nigerian police and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, were deployed to ensure safety of lives and properties during the celebration. Hamid Oyebade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
Now moving over to Bauchi, where the Chief Imam of Nasu Faith Society has reminded parents of the responsibility of raising morally upright children for a better society. He gave the reminder during his sermon after the 2 Rakat prayers observed by Muslim faithful in Bauchi State. Trust TV's Adamu Imam was there and now reports.
Thousands of Muslim worshippers observed the 2 Rakat Eid al-Adha prayer At the Nasrullah al-Fatih Society Eid ground within the state capital, the Chief Imam Abdul Fattah Bello, who preached on the seasons of peace in the country, also stressed the importance of acquiring knowledge for personal development.
If every parent can try as much as possible to give the quality education, quality tarbiyah, quality everything to his children, the society will be better more than this, because they will obey, they will obey the Islamic teaching. As far as Nabi Ismail, when he obeyed his daddy, that daddy said, no, I have a dream that I slaughter you for Allah's sake.
Worshippers expressed concern with the current economic hardship faced by many Nigerians, especially during festivals.
A lot of people cannot afford to buy the ram or the Salah sacrifice, or the cow or camel or goat, which was been prescribed by Islam to be slaughtered during this beautiful day due to economic hardship. So I'm using this medium or opportunity to call for government to please look for an avenue of trying to alleviate the cost of living. The cost of living is too high.
We must all follow the injunction of Almighty Allah and the words of our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so that they will not be misguided, they will not be misled by anyone outside.
Right price are supposed to attract to this commodity. So, but are we only urge government, if government can set up a price regulatory committee, so that they be the one in charge of all this commodity price, so that there won't be any marketer, any seller I just come to the market all of a sudden and start selling his product at his own wish price.
Eid al-Adha is one of the sacred days observed with the slaughtering of animals by Muslims around the world on the 10th day of Zulhijjah, the 12th month in the Islamic calendar, as sacrifice for bountiful rewards. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Still on Eid celebrations, thousands of Muslims in Nasarawa State have joined their counterparts across the globe to celebrate this year's Eid al-Adha. Leading the 2 rakat prayers at the Lafia Central Eid Ground, Deputy Chief Imam of Lafia, Yusuf Ahmadu, called on faithfuls to reflect on the reason behind the celebration. Trust TV's Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report as presented from our studio.
Shortly after the 2 rakat sessions, the Deputy Chief Imam, Yusuf Ahmadu, said one of the features of the Eid al-Adha is the animal sacrifice, adding that God tested Prophet Abraham's level of obedience and trust by asking him to sacrifice his son. He enjoined Muslims to always submit themselves to the will of God as well as adhere totally to his command. Some Muslim faithful spoke on the celebrations.
Actually, it is a beautiful experience because this is the Eid al-Adha, the Eid al-Kabir, and we just came back from the Durbar, which happened immediately after the Eid prayer. It is an unforgettable experience because this is showcasing our culture, most especially the Kanuri culture, and so on and so forth. It is really a joyous occasion, and I wish each and every one of you a happy Eid Mubarak, and may Allah in His infinite mercies grant us good health and good health.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I was always impressed with this Salah of Eid al-Kabir. It is a historical moment at this junction. I can't express my feeling, but I'll always say Alhamdulillah for the successful Eid al-Kabir.
The Eid al-Adha prayer session in Lafia had in attendance Secretary of the State Government, other key government functionaries, as well as traditional rulers.
The state governor, Abdullahi Sule, attended the celebration at his country home of Gudi in Akwanga local government area of the state. The Eid al-Adha celebration in Lafia features horse riding, drumming, and dancing among other displays. From Lafia, Abubakar Abdullahi, Trust TV News.
This is News Update coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, Nigerians react to Presidency's response to New York Times feature. More news when we return this day. You are welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update coming to you from Trust TV. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. Suspected herdsmen kill 6 villagers in Taraba. Gunmen abduct Catholic priest in Anambra State. Now moving on, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA says the school curriculum in Nigeria is outdated and needs an urgent and comprehensive review. The Director General of NITDA, Kashu Inwa Abdullahi, stated this during a meeting with the management team of the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council, NERDC, led by its Executive Secretary, Jainadu Ismail, at NITDA's corporate headquarters in Abuja. According to a statement by NITDA, Abdullahi emphasized the urgent need to work together to review the existing school curriculum and develop a comprehensive one that incorporates digital skills at all educational levels. He said this is in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda to create millions of jobs by leveraging digital technologies and achieving a digital literacy rate of 70% by 2027. Meanwhile, the presidency on Sunday, in response to a damning report by New York Times on the management of Nigeria's economy, says President Bola Tinubu inherited a dead economy but was determined to resolve the nation's economic crisis. In this report, Noel Sampson speaks to an economist on the state of the Nigerian economy under the Tinubu's administration.
The future authored by Ruth Macklin and Ismail Awal highlights the severe economic challenges facing Nigeria. It notes that the soaring inflation and a plummeting national currency contribute to the economic crisis, leaving millions struggling to feed themselves. The article also examines the specific economic conditions inherited by President Bola Tinubu and the main economic challenges bedeviling the third largest economy on the African continent.
Well, I think it's President Tinubu and his handlers that is in best position to answer what they actually inherited. And best to respond to that is still them. So, like, they actually did responded, but the response wasn't as quite good as it should. They should have highlighted the things they are doing, functional and knowledge-based strategic implementation of plans, than just being symbolic announcements that we witnessed in the last couple of months.
The economist also highlighted potential solutions to the current economic challenges.
We need the government to be decisive. We need the government to realize that the time and period of rhetoric has gone. The blame game have gone. They need to actually step up and double their efforts to make sure that these issues around cost of living, issues around scarcity of most of these food items.
Reacting to the development, some FCT residents highlight the impact of Nigeria's soaring inflation and the devaluation of Naira on their livelihood.
Though we are suffering, we Nigerians, based on the inflation, because now the price in food is rising every time, like it's rising like a bag of gari. Now we cannot even eat gari, we common people, because a bag of gari that was sold for 5k, 9,000 now is being sold for 45,000 naira.
Also in foodstuffs. You understand? You transport those foodstuffs to the market. You understand? Now, someone who is transporting a bag of gari, let's say from the east down to Abuja here, and each bag they charge, let's say, 500 naira. Now they don't charge 500 naira. You understand? They charge 2,025.
I affected all Nigeria, not only me. Because if you go to market, if you see the way things are going, no one is happy. Go to buy something today, tomorrow go back, you discover that it has added almost 100% increments.
I used to go out and buy like food stuff in different parts of the country to come down here to come and sell. That's the business I do mostly. And based on that inflation, when you go to market, you see transport increase and everything. Even in the villages, those are selling in the village too. You know, they will tell you that based on their fertilizer and everything, things increase.
Nigerians are hopeful that the government will address the current economic situation before it gets out of hand. No, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now to some business story. Guarantee Trust Bank has dragged no fewer than 60 top executives of 13 commercial banks to court as a pending suit between GT Bank and Afex Commodity Exchange over 17 billion naira Anchor Borrowers Program loan lingers. The 60 executives include the chairman, chief executive officers, directors, and company secretaries of the 13 banks are facing contempt proceedings for allegedly failing to implement a no-debit order reportedly placed on the account of Afex Commodity Exchange with the banks. In the suit involving Guarantee Trust Bank Limited and Afex Commodity Exchange Limited, the Federal High Court Lagos Division, presided by Justice C.J. Aneke, signed an order for the bank chairman, MDs, directors, company secretaries, and liquidator of Heritage Bank NDIC to be committed to jail for failing to obey its May 27th ruling. The matter was adjourned to next Thursday. Parties cited for contempt include Access Bank, Citibank, Jais Bank, Union Bank, Fidelity Bank, First Bank PLC, First City Monument Bank, NDIC, Stanbic IBTC Bank, Polaris Bank, Taj Bank, United Bank for Africa, and Zenith Bank, alongside its principal officers. And the court ruling dated May 27, 2024, 20 banks were directed to transfer monies standing to the credit of the respondent into the Afex accounts with GTB until the 17.81 billion naira is repaid. The court also granted an injunction allowing GTB to take over Afex 16 warehouses located across 7 states and sell the commodities stored in them, which it said were procured with the Central Bank of Nigeria's Anchor Borrowers Loan Facility. Now to the foreign scene. Muslim pilgrims used the early morning hours of Monday to perform the second day of the symbolic stoning of the devil as noontime summer heat caused heat strokes amongst thousands wrapping up the Hajj pilgrimage. The final days of the Hajj coincide with Muslims all around the world celebrating the Eid al-Adha holiday. The stoning of the pillars representing the devil takes place in Mina, a desert plain just outside the city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. A third stoning is scheduled Tuesday before the farewell tawaf, or circling the cube-shaped Kaaba in Mecca. The Hajj pilgrimage is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. All Muslims are required to make the 5-day Hajj at least once in their lives if they are physically and financially able to do so. More than 1.8 million pilgrims perform Hajj in 2024, slightly less than last year's figure of 1.84 million, according to Saudi officials. Still on the foreign scene, the late Malawian Vice President Saulos Chilima will be buried on Monday in his home district of Nachu, 180 kilometers south of Lilongwe. The 51-year-old and 8 others, including the ex-wife of a former Malawian president, died in a plane crash in bad weather. A state service led by President Lazarus Chakwera was held on Saturday to pay tribute. Officials from Chilema's United Transformation Movement criticized the government's response as slow and noted the lack of a transponder on the aircraft. Chilema and Chakwera had led Malawi together under unique circumstances, having challenged and won a court-overturned election in 2019. However, their alliance showed signs of strain as Chakwera announced he would run for re-election despite a prior agreement to step down. And in sports, Regina Otu, Yawande Balogu, and Amanda Mbadi have been released by French D1 Arkema outfit Saint-Etienne, The trio were released by Saint Etienne following the expiration of their contracts. The Greens also released 11 other players following the conclusion of the 2023-2024 season. Balogun, a goalkeeper, is leaving Les Verts after 2 years. She made 5 appearances during her time at the club. Otu played a key role in Saint Etienne's promotion to the top flights last season. The midfielder made 20 appearances for the club in the 2023-2024 campaign. Mbadi, who arrived from Thonon Evian last summer, played 14 matches this season. Well, with that, we've come to the end of News Update here on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news, programs, and documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi.